Hi boys and girls. Today we are going to start talking about three-dimensional shapes. By now you should have all finished the chapter 11 on two-dimensional shapes, and we're going to move into 3D shapes. You need pages 693 of 698 from your math pages this week and a pencil, and you're ready to begin. Now your page is going to look a little bit different than mine because I have added two shapes to my page. So covering the shapes on your page, I have put a purple circle and a purple square, and I've done this for a reason. They're placed on the clipboard so that you guys can see the difference between a two-dimensional and a three-dimensional shape. So when we talked about 2D shapes, you can only see that shape only has one side that you're looking at, one face that you're looking at. So if you look, it is a flat shape. It lays flat. Technically, you can't see any of the other faces of the shape, the circle or the square. But let's look at a three-dimensional shape. So I'm going to put this shape next to our circle. Now this is not a circle, boys and girls. It's kind of looks like a ball, like a wooden ball. In fact, that's one way you can name it. But this shape is actually called a sphere. A sphere. So a sphere, look, you can see all around it. I'm rolling it around in my hand so that you can see every bit of this sphere. Okay, so the circle lays flat. The sphere is what's called three-dimensional. You can see all around it. You can see all of its shape. And then let's look at the square. So this is a two-dimensional square. And then boys and girls, this is a cube, and I'm just going to flip it around so that you guys can see all of the different faces of the cube. Okay, so the main difference that you can see just from looking at these two shapes here is that the two-dimensional shapes are flat. They seem flat, while the three-dimensional shapes look like you can just pick them right off the page. So I'm going to move these now so you can actually see and compare the pictures of the two-dimensional shapes and the three-dimensional shapes on here. These are all the three-dimensionals. So you've got the three-dimensionals, and then let me just add these so you can see all of them together. So you've got the circle, a sphere, and then an actual sphere, and then you've got a square, a cube, and the actual cube to look at. So what I want you to do is I want you to take a minute, pause the video, and go walk around your house. See if you can find spheres, ball shapes, or you can find cubes in your house. That would be a fun thing to do. It's like a scavenger hunt like we did on our social Zoom. So go ahead and pause the video and see if you can see spheres in your house or cubes in your house. Good job, boys and girls. Now I will show you. I actually found some cubes in my house during your scavenger hunt, and I'm going to take them out and show you what an example of a cube that you could find in your house is. And that would be, yes, it's a dice. I found a dice in my house. This is the shape of a cube, and look, it's three-dimensional. You can actually flip it and see all of the numbers, all of the sides that cube has. Now, believe it or not, Miss Brockman did not have a ball, so you're just going to have to know that a ball is a good sphere shape. Any kind of ball, a baseball, a soccer ball, a tennis ball, anything like that, any round shape that you can pick up and throw would be a good example of a sphere. Okay, now what I want you to do is I want you to turn the page, and we're going to look and find different spheres and cubes in this lesson. Different spheres and cubes in this lesson. So we're going to look up here, and these are some words that you guys should start to know. This is sphere. Sphere. Now I want you to notice here, this is something we've been learning in our reading. There are two vowels here. Here's a vowel and here's a vowel. So when there are two vowels in a word, boys and girls, remember the first one does the talking and the second one doesn't say anything at all. And so this is sphere, sphere. Okay, so remember the sphere is the round ball-shaped object. So what you are doing here is you are going to say this is a sphere, and then you're going to circle which of the objects is a sphere. Well, this one's done for us. So we know that the golf ball is the sphere, so we're going to circle the golf ball. And I want you to go ahead and put an X on the present that's shaped like a cube, not a sphere. So that brings us to the next word we're learning in this math section, and it's cube. Cube. Now again, going back to your reading skills, boys and girls, there's two vowels in this word. You have the U and the E. So the first one's going to do the talking and say its name, and that second one's not going to say anything at all. Cube. So what you're doing in this one is you're going to circle the object that is shaped like a cube. And if you remember Miss Brockman's dice, you're going to go ahead and circle the cube that looks like a dice, and then you're going to put an X on the Play-Doh container because that is not the shape of a cube. Okay, so this should be relatively easy to do. In row number three, you're going to look at this first shape. You are going to circle the objects that are the same shape and put X's on the ones that are not the same shape as this one. Pause the video, do that now, and then we'll check it together. Okay, boys and girls, good. If you said that this first shape is a sphere, you are correct. This is a sphere. So you were looking for other objects in this row that are also spheres. If you found the tomato here at the end, that was the sphere in the row, and we're going to circle that one, and we're going to put an X on the box of graham crackers and what looks like a party blower right here. Those are not the same shape as the sphere. Good job. Now you're going to do the same thing with number 4. You're going to say the name of this shape, then you're going to find the objects in this row that are the same shape as this one. Pause the video now, and we'll check it together. All right, boys and girls, did you remember that this was a cube? A cube? Good job. So did you find the cube here that matches? If you found the box or the package and circled it, you are so smart. So you would have circled the box and put an X on the ball and an X on the can. Great job finding those spheres and their cubes. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and move on to page 695. And this should be relatively easy. It looks like just like the one we did together. So you are going to pause the video and you're going to do 5, 6, 7, and 8 the same way we did the other ones together. You're going to look at this first shape. You're going to name it. Then you're going to find the shapes in each row that are the exact same shape as the first one. You will circle that shape and then put an X on the ones that don't. Go ahead and pause the video, and when you join me again, we're going to be on the back of that page. We're going to be on page 696. Welcome back, boys and girls. I hope you had an easy time finding the cubes and the spheres on that other page. Now, if you look at this page here, we have a picture of a little girl here who looks like she's having a thought. This, boys and girls, is called a thought bubble. So this is kind of what she is thinking. It's showing you a picture of what this child here is supposedly thinking. And so what we're going to do is we're going to work with this picture here. It kind of looks like a picture of outer space. So this looks like a planet. This looks like a rocket ship with some fire coming out of it. And you can tell that they're way high up in the sky because the sky is black with stars in it. So what you're going to do is you're going to look at the planet. You're going to look at the planet and say what shape the planet is. What shape the planet is. And then you are going to draw lines from the shapes around the thought bubble. So you're going to be looking at these shapes here, and you're going to draw a line from the shapes that match this planet to the shapes down here. So what I would say is, I would say that this is a sphere. This is a sphere. If you look at this, and you remember from what we've learned so far, this is the shape of a ball. It is a sphere. So I'm going to find all of the spheres down here. And I'm just going to do one of them, and then you guys can go back and find the other. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a line from this shape, this sphere, to the planet here. Good job. The next thing I want you to do is I want you to find the piece of the rocket ship that is shaped like a cube. That is shaped like a cube. And then you are going to find the cubes in the image around it and draw lines to that. Okay, so you've got two pieces to your rocket here. Which one of these is the cube? Is it the green one or the red one? That's right, boys and girls. The green shape here is the cube. So you're going to draw lines from all the cubes you see to the cube part of the rocket. Pause the video and do that now. Excellent job, boys and girls. Good job in finding the cubes and the spheres. Now, the next thing that you're going to do is you will be able to turn off the video and you're going to do the My Homework section of your math pages for today. That is going to be pages 697 and 698 at the back of your packet. Once again, what you're going to do here is these rows each have a shape at the beginning of the row. You're going to name the shape. You're going to find the shape that is the same and circle it. And then I want you to go one step further and put an X on the shapes that do not match. Once you have finished those, you're going to go ahead and turn to the back and do the same thing on the back. Boys and girls, I hope you thought this was easy peasy lemon squeezy. Come back tomorrow and we're going to learn a couple more three-dimensional shapes.